Kansas City Chiefs, look, who knew that all year, defense really, I mean, look, Patrick Mahomes is him. They got about 400 yards, almost doubled Miami. Miami was in the low 200s.
Yeah.
Defense calling card of the Chiefs, both sides of the line carried the day. They played like Super Bowl champs in spite of the conditions. Don't you agree?
Boom. I completely agree. Think about this. The Chiefs in their heyday, it was Mahomes, Kelsey, Tyreek Hill. Then Hill left, it was Mahomes and Kelsey. Well, this year, it's been defense, Mahomes, Rashee Rice,
right,
and then Kelsey mixed in, and that's what we saw tonight. So tonight was a microcosm of their season. Defense was outstanding. Mahomes to Rice, up and down the field, boom. He was the go-to guy. They designed the offense to go to Rice. When Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator, was going to play some man coverage, a lot of crossing routes. When there was zone, he sat down, and Mahomes was looking to him. I think he now has taken over as the number one weapon on this offense.
Well, he has. Of course, Patrick just knowing when to run and everything else. But they were waiting all year for he's pretty sure-handed. We saw that.
Correct. Yes.
But by having a big receiver, now they can't double, triple. They can some. Kelsey, and Miami wasn't banging him off the line like some of the teams were in December to the Chiefs. Rice opens up other things. To your point, I tell you who else opens up other things. Why don't we mention the interior three?
Yes.
Creed Humphrey, the center.
Yes.
Joe Tooney, the guard. Trey Smith, the guard.
Yeah.
Running up the middle. They kind of blasted Miami out of there.
We've talked about the two tackles all year long, the much maligned tackles. Yeah. And so we've kind of minimized their interior three. They control the line of scrimmage. Pacheco, boom, 24 carries, 89 tough yards. He runs like he's mad at the ground. The physicality. He's not a big guy. But he sets the tone for this team, and you see why he took over the number one running back. Tooney, Smith, Creed Humphrey, dominating inside. And they faced a really good defensive tackle in Christian Wilkins. So when you talk about December and January football, the weather's going to be bad. You got to be physical. Who would have thought years ago that this Chiefs team would be dominating the offensive line, the defensive line? George Karlaftis was outstanding, double-digit sacks. Chris Jones. And so you now see a team that we worried about all season long. But now, look what they can do. They can play lights-out defense. They can run the football. They got a number one wide receiver. And oh, by the way, they got the best quarterback in the league.
Well, and it played a clean game.
Yes.
Let's start with that. The tackling, sure tackling in conditions like that.
Yes.
Every now and then you would play there with Tampa at Green Bay, but isn't it much harder to wrap up? But yet it seems that they did anyway.
It's tough to tackle when it's that cold, Boom, because anything you hit on your body hurts. We saw Mahomes he got hit and the helmet exploded.
Right, that's unbelievable.
So imagine what your body feels like when it's negative degrees outside and you're hitting somebody. Adrenaline only takes you so far, but at some point you got to have a mindset and a will to go be physical. And you saw McDuffie, you saw the DBs, you saw everybody come up and they were being physical. This was a championship level effort mentally and physically from the Chiefs.
Miami. Look, this was going to be a tough spot once you knew what the weather was, and it wasn't going to be even 30 degrees or something like that. The only thing I'll say on them, because they're on the come, they lost that Buffalo last year, they lost at Kansas City, it's cold, et cetera. They're as good as they are offensively, and they are. I don't know that they're really a team built to come from behind. I'm not talking about 20 behind. Okay, not too many are. They just... That's missing as good as they are offensively, and in defense of them, so many of their key defensive players were out. They won't use that as an excuse, but that'll be obvious. But I just don't know, because we've seen them with teams, we're down by 7 or 10, and it just doesn't work.
Well, it doesn't happen, and to your point, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention 11 starters, 6 of them wasn't in the game. It's really tough to win in the National Football League when you're losing the type of weaponry that they didn't have tonight. But to your point, offensively, you heard Tua mention it, the attention to detail at practice during the week. When I hear a starting quarterback mention attention to detail at practice, my antennas go up. That means everybody's not on the same page. We're not communicating. And to me, that's unheard of when you go into a playoff game. That's inexcusable. And so the head coach, Mike McDaniel, Tua Tagovailoa, they've got to come back and figure out, Tua, he's going to want a new contract this offseason. Does this style of offense work when it gets cold? Can we run the football effectively enough in Buffalo, in Kansas City, in Cincinnati, and whenever we get into these cold environments, can we do what we normally do in Miami? I think that's a question they have to ask themselves this offseason.
Who knew that 95 or 96-yard punt return by Hardy in the Buffalo game in the second, that, in the end, sealed it. Miami wasn't at home, and there you go. Plus, more guys got hurt in the game. It's just, it kind of, in retrospect, that return by Buffalo got them the division, and Miami got a trip to Kansas City. You saw what happened. They had a good season, but Kansas City, 3 seed, they're not worried about playing road games.
They don't care. No.
No, it's time for them to try that.
Hey, because after all, he's never played a playoff game away from Arrowhead Stadium.
That's right. Guess what? It may be coming.